The names of the GOROSEI have just been revealed after 20 plus years, but one of them in particular stands out as suspicious: St. Jude Peter. The meaning behind the name St. Shepherd Jude Peter is a pun for St. Peter in the Bible and Jupiter. But how does Nerona Emu fit into this? And even Rox XEBEC? Well, we're about to find out. St. Peter in real life was a Jew named Peter, who was crucified by Roman Emperor Nero. The name could also be a combination of Peter and Judas, both of whom were a part of Jesus' 12 apostles. There were 2 apostles named Judas, but we're talking about the one notorious for betraying him by disclosing his whereabouts for 30 pieces of silver. Jesus was then arrested, tried, and executed. There are many versions of Peter's story, but in the New Testament and 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Peter was a Jewish fisherman. His original name was actually Simon, the son of a man named Jonah, and giving up everything in his life to follow Jesus, Simon was given the new name Peter. The original name Simon in Hebrew means listening or hearing, and in Greek translation, Petros, Peter, means rock. So when you read the name Simon Peter, it literally means listening rock or hearing rock. Funny thing is, this reminds me of the time we were first introduced to the breadth of all things by Zorro, when he listened to the stone, the rock, in Alabasta, in his fight against Mr. One. But this could also tie into how Roger could hear the poneglyphs. Anyway, Peter was the first apostle and is described as the rock on which the church was built. He was the first leader of the early church in Rome and the first pope. This may hint at St. Jude Peter having deep ties to the foundation of the world government and potential loyalties to the Christ figure, Joy Boy. In Matthew and Mark, Jesus called Simon and his brother to be fishers of men, which in my One Piece brain ties into the name Fisher Tiger, and it fits with the power Rox and Luffy have of drawing people in and making them allies, friends and foes alike. This might even be why Oda gave him the name Shepherd. Although Peter became one of the apostles that followed Christ, he began to have doubts, and Peter denied Christ 3 times before his crucifixion, but when Jesus rose from the dead 3 days later, he confirmed his faith 3 times. This reflects Jude Peter denying Joy Boy, Fisher Tiger, and then Luffy's attempts at freeing the world. According to the New Testament, Jesus was crucified at a spot outside Jerusalem called Golgotha, which in Aramaic means place of the skull. The place of the skull in One Piece would be Onigashima. Luffy's execution was carried out by Kaido, but it was arranged by the Gorosei and Cypher Pole, demonstrating another connection between the story of Peter in the Bible and Jude Peter in One Piece. Peter's execution years later was ordered by the Roman Emperor Nero, who blamed the city's Christians for a terrible fire that had ravaged Rome. He was executed in Nero's circus at the foot of Vatican Hill. We think this might shadow the God Valley incident, with Rox being betrayed by Nerona Emu. All this really makes me believe that the reason Oda gave XEBEC the surname Rox is because Rox could actually be Peter. I don't know if he just has some kind of weird connection with Rox, or Rox actually did fall into ruin at God Valley by becoming a member of the Gorosei. It would be fitting for Emu to change Rox's name to St. Jude Peter, the complete opposite of what Jesus did. I mean, leave it to Oda to be able to name someone after the planet Jupiter, but still give him another name with such deep ties to the Bible. But in this story, Nerona Emu is an immortal version of the Roman Emperor Nero. Luffy, Joy Boy, is Jesus, or carries his will, and Rox, well, he's Peter. Rox betrayed his crew like Judas and then became the new Gorosei member named Jude Peter. Some of this probably happened hundreds of years ago, but is happening again now in the current timeline. I do have some more thoughts on Nero's circus and how I think Buggy really could be related to the House of Nerona Emu and Rox. Nero's circus mirrors Buggy's circus theme and his attempted execution at Logtown of Luffy. I do wonder if Buggy is actually Rox's son, and maybe that's why Rox went to God Valley. He heard of his son's birth and went back to save him, because in my opinion, Rox was from God Valley all along. That's how he knew where to find it. He must have betrayed the celestial dragons a couple of years earlier, gaining him the secret title of D. I would think all Rocks had to his name when he first escaped was XEBEC, a small, three-masted sailing ship, hence the name Rocks D. XEBEC. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for listening. It's just a little food for thought. I'll drop another short video soon, so make sure you're subbed and turn on your notifications. Bye-bye.